They're a generation of angry young Muslims, some willing to justify violence,
British soldiers, we want them killed.
Others willing to carry it out.
Generation Jihad would be the fact that an entire generation has been indoctrinated.
Indoctrinated over the internet by Al-Qaeda propaganda, recruited into terrorist cells, anonymous in chat rooms, hidden behind instant messaging. An unprecedented threat to us all.
They're Al-Qaeda's entrepreneurs. They're the entrepreneurs of jihad.
I've spent the last year investigating how one network spread across 3 continents, recruiting vulnerable young men to violent jihad. In Eastern Europe, a teenager with a formidable arsenal of guns and explosives.
Allahu Akbar. Here, the brothers are preparing for the attacks.
In Canada, a sophisticated plot to explode 3 enormous truck bombs. And all aided and abetted by 2 young fanatics living right here in the United Kingdom. Generation Jihad has roots in countries across the world, but as I discovered, one of its key figures was born and bred in Britain. His name is Abid Hussein Khan. At 22, he was running a website that encouraged violent jihad and suicide bombings. But even in his teens, he was in the vanguard of a new kind of terror network.
Abid Khan was a jihadi entrepreneur. He was someone who, from a very young age, was internet plugged in. I mean, he was a web fanatic, right? But back in the day, there wasn't really that much about jihad on the internet. But what there was, Khan zeroed in on.
He used this internet expertise to build a website here in Bradford that would recruit jihadis from across the English-speaking world. On the website he was running, he was discussing the circumstances under which it was permissible to kill women and children. Khan was using his online chat forum to find, groom and recruit potential young jihadis. Khan's website was called @Tibian Publications. On the surface, it was a place where English speakers could get hold of translations of radical Islamic texts. But its real importance was as a social networking site, fueling young Muslims' fervour for jihad.
They're invited to join and then subjected to a very singularly minded view that Al-Qaeda put out.
So Abid Khan was a sort of Al-Qaeda predator.
Yeah, he would be that sort of equivalent to, you know, a predator on the website, gets young people trapped into it.
Khan did all this on his computer at home, yet his father, a former textile worker, remained completely in the dark. He's convinced his son has done nothing wrong.
My father used to say, when you step into the house and the first step you take, right, I know what you're thinking and what sort of state of mind you're in, right? So I knew my son, you know, the same thing, right, you know.
Did Abid ever discuss his political views with you, or his views of political
Islam? No, just
Islam?
like an ordinary son, right, you know.
But this ordinary son first became fascinated by radical Islam at the age of just 12. Over the years, it became an obsession.
He began reading this material that Al-Qaeda was putting out on the internet, documents saying, do it at home, do it in your own backyard. No matter if we're in London or Baghdad, if we believe in these ideas, we have to put them into action. No matter if you're 15 years old, it's your obligation as a Muslim.
And as I showed in last week's program, one of the users of Khan's website was only 15 years old. Hamad Munshi was a schoolboy from nearby Dewsbury. Partly due to Khan, he became Britain's youngest ever convicted terrorist. But Khan's influence spread far, far beyond Yorkshire. His website helped to connect potential terrorists in Europe, Canada, and America. My journey to try and untangle Khan's web began in an unlikely location. The southern states of America have a relatively small Muslim population, well integrated and often affluent. But even in prosperous rural Georgia, young men were logging on to Abid Khan's website, based 3,000 miles away in Yorkshire. One of them was Haris Ahmed. His father is a professor at a nearby college. What was he like as a boy growing up?
He was a very kind, shy, caring brother, a good son, a good family member, a good member of the community.
Haris Ahmed came to the US when he was 12. There was nothing in his childhood to suggest the disgust he would later express for the West and all its values.
Normally he would watch television. He was watching just like a documentary. And he would also watch the Disney Channel, and all those small cartoons, And I would say, what are you watching? You're grown up. He said, no, I like to watch the cartoons.
But as he grew older and left home, things did start to change. He moved to a student pad, a small apartment behind Atlanta's main mosque, where he became a regular worshipper. Was Haris particularly devout? Did you notice him becoming more devout?
When you say devout, and yes, he was becoming more interested in learning more about Islam.
Did he discuss these matters with you, his search for a deeper knowledge, deeper understanding of Islam?
Not in so much detail.
Did he discuss jihad with you?
Never.
Ever mention jihad to you?
Never.
But unbeknown to his family, jihad was very much on Haris Ahmed's mind. Ahmed began to find others on the internet, like Abid Khan from Bradford, who shared and reinforced his views. Ahmed's radicalization was almost complete. He'd fallen prey to the ideology of Al-Qaeda. Did you know what kind of chat rooms your son was involved in and what sort of material he was downloading when he was at home?
Never. Because he never told me anything about those chat rooms. And I thought maybe if he is chatting with somebody, it could be just his friends using the normal instant messenger and maybe some group of friends. But I never thought he is in a chat room with any particular topic discussing of jihad or anything like that.
But Ahmed and a close friend soon attracted the attention of the FBI.
We had information from an informant in Atlanta that there were two individuals who were attending a local mosque and a local college that were calling themselves the Taliban Brothers, that they were, they believe, radicalized and were attempting to do something, to plot something.
Since 9/11, the US authorities have poured enormous resources into fighting terrorism. The FBI didn't hang around.
We mount a massive surveillance operation, 24-hour a day, 7-day-a-week surveillance. So it is a massive effort in Atlanta at that point.
According to this secret FBI surveillance log, he was seen walking into this building, going into class, coming out, using a computer, then leaving. He walked across here and into this building and headed straight for the computer room. So Ahmed was under surveillance for just about every minute of the day. Does what you find confirm with what your suspicions and fears were?
It does. We found that he was researching bombs and bomb-making material, researching how to defeat FBI surveillance.